Here is what I want to talk to you about today, is about victim thinking and your fear of being a victim. I really like that you are being a very growth-minded mother, and you do want to make sure that you are not being in that victim mindset. Because you are trying so hard not to be a victim, you have started being way too hard on yourself. And you feel guilt. Last time when we talked, you said that I feel so guilty about doing what I'm doing. And what you specifically said, you said, we are not supposed to be feeling like a victim. So first of all, I want you to forget the words like should, must, supposed to. Nobody tells you what you're supposed to be and what you're not supposed to be, what you should be doing and what you should not be doing. And that is something that the words that I want you to stop using when you're talking to yourself. And I will explain in a second why, but for now, I really want you to write down, stop using the words must, should, supposed to, have to. Stop using those words when you are talking to yourself. Here is what it does. You think that when you tell yourself, oh, you should stop doing this, you have to be a better mother, you should be a better parent, you have to do this, or you should stop doing this. When you are telling yourself what you should be doing, the assumption is that whatever you're doing right now, it's not okay. Whatever kind of person you are right now, it's not okay. When you tell yourself, oh, I should be a better mother, it means that you are saying that you are a bad mother right now. So basically, you are criticizing very harshly yourself. And when you're criticizing yourself, how do you feel? You feel guilty, right? You feel shame. You feel like you're not a good person. You feel fear that, oh my gosh, I'm not a good parent. You are overwhelmed, right? So you are creating all these negative feelings within yourself. How do you act when you're all emotionally feeling bad about yourself, that you're a bad mother? What do you do? So you said that you do feel more overwhelmed, more frustrated with yourself, angrier with yourself, because you're like, oh, I'm a bad parent. So you start acting and doing things exactly the opposite that you would like to be doing. Because when we are in the place of fear, when we are all tense, scared, we are telling ourselves, oh, you should not be doing this, that's not okay, that's wrong, something wrong with you. When we are feeling like there is something wrong with us, we are not coming from fear. We start making mistakes, we are stressed, we are not acting at our best. And if you want to be acting at your best, you need to come from the place of love, of that tranquil, calm state to take better actions. And when you're beating yourself up, when you're telling yourself all the time that there is something wrong with you, then you cannot be in that state. That it prevents you telling yourself that there is something wrong with you, blaming yourself, beating yourself up, does not help you to be calm. And when you're not calm, when you're not in that place of love, then you're taking actions that you regret later. Stop beating yourself up. Stop telling yourself what you should be doing or what should not. And go to that place of love. You need to learn to love yourself, accept yourself the way you are. Because only when you start accepting yourself the way you are, you will learn to love yourself, and you will develop that love inside of yourself, and you will be able to give more love and make better choices. So when you are telling yourself, oh, I'm not a victim, I don't want to be a victim, you are resisting being a victim, which is, on one hand, it's good that you're realizing that you don't want to be a victim. But what you're focusing on and what you are not doing is you're so much focusing on not being a victim that you forget another side of it, is compassion. So you really need to realize that you can do both. You can not be a victim, but at the same time, you can feel compassionate to yourself. And I'll explain the difference to you. So a victim, something that you're so afraid of, is giving responsibility for what you're responsible to someone else and say that, oh, you know, it's not me, I'm not a bad mother, my child is not behaving well, or I'm not a bad wife, it's my husband, it's all my husband, right? You are always looking for a villain, because if I'm a victim, I need to find a villain whose fault that is. So that's being a victim. And compassion is actually just feeling empathetic towards yourself, feeling empathy, and accepting, recognizing what is happening and accepting that and acknowledging that. Let me ask you a question. If you had two friends, and one friend, you're going to that friend, and that friend says that, you know what, stop complaining, and you're not feeling well, you really need to talk to somebody. So you're going to that friend, and this friend said that, okay, stop complaining. You know, you're just being a victim. I just want you to stop talking, forget about it, and do something about it. I'm so tired of you complaining. You're such a victim. Stop it. So when this friend says that, okay, I don't want to hear you complaining anymore. Start doing something. You're being a victim. Start doing it. I don't, forget about it. Stop. How do you feel? You wouldn't feel hurt. You wouldn't feel that this friend really listened to you and paid attention to you and helped you to go through this pain, right? You would feel like this friend just doesn't want to hear about your pain. This friend does want to help. This friend wants you to move on and do some things, but at the same time, you would not feel like this friend helped you to feel better. This friend basically said that, I don't want to hear about your problems. Go and do things that you're supposed to be doing. Don't talk about it, right? So that, just like you said right now, that would not help you feel better. And that's exactly what you're doing when you are trying to not be a victim. You're pushing so hard, you're so afraid of being a victim that you don't want to hear yourself at all. You just tell yourself, stop it. Let's talk about another friend. So you're going to another friend, and you're telling your friend everything, that how you feel overwhelmed, that you're a single mother, that parenting is not easy for you, that there are days when you're stressed, there are days when you need support, when you feel like, oh, it would be so nice to have another person who I could leave my child with and take care of myself and just have a break. So you're telling all these things that you're going through, and you are discussing it, you're sharing this pain. And then this friend sits there and listening to you attentively, paying attention and saying, hey, you know, I know that it's hard. I can feel your pain and I empathize with you. I'm so sorry you have to go through all of this, because it's hard. It sounds like you're going through a lot right now. And then your friend says, all right, so tell me more. And you talk until you're done talking, you stop crying, and then your friend gives you a hug and say, is there anything else you would like to share? Because it does sound like you have been through a lot, and if there is a lot on your mind. And you think about it and like, no, I think I've told you everything. And now, what would you like to do? We can just stop here and get together a little bit later and discuss what we can do next, or we can just sit down and think about how we can do better, what we can plan to make your life easier, what we can do so you would not feel that way anymore, or you would feel that way but not as often. How would that feel? Would that feel better? Would you rather come to this friend who empathizes and have compassion for you, or would you go to that friend who? So you're saying that you would go to the second friend because you would know that this friend doesn't say things that, as a result, you feel even worse about yourself. Because when this friend said that, hey, stop talking about it, you're a complainer, you're a victim, I don't want to hear about it, you should stop talking about it and do something about it, then it makes you feel like, oh, I'm doing something wrong. I am a complainer. I should stop complaining. Should be doing something. There is something wrong with me. I have no right to complain. And with this friend, you're first of all feeling like you're being heard, and you're feeling like, oh, so there is nothing wrong with me. She said that She understands that it's reasonable for me to feel so frustrated and to feel so sad and overwhelmed in my situation, because I am overwhelmed and this situation does seem overwhelming. So this friend telling you that there is nothing wrong with you. You're fine. So this friend allows you to cry, to share how you feel, and allows you to be yourself. And only then, after listening to you, after allowing you to take all this pain out, when you have nothing else to share, when you feel like you already shared, you calm down, you feel better now, only then your friend say, okay, now with your clear mind, let's sit down and think about what you can do about it. What I really want you to understand, that you need to decide who you want to be for yourself. Do you want to be this friend that you're being right now? Because right now you're being a very harsh friend, very mean friend to yourself. You're just telling yourself that forget about your feelings, there is something wrong with you, be a better mom, do something about it. I don't want to hear you complain. You and says that, yes, yeah, your life is not easy right now. You are going through challenges. I really want you to understand that you choose what kind of friend you want to be.